What to Play presents the upcoming PC strategy games of 2019. Anno 1800. After a 2-episode visit to the future, Ubisoft takes their real-time strategy video game back to the past with a trip to the seminal 19th century. The 7th installment in their Anno series, 1800, explores the years of the Industrial Revolution. More than just aesthetics, the way your city looks will now have direct consequences to gameplay. Whether you want to pollute it to usher the march of capitalism, or spice it up to welcome a flock of paying tourists. Celebrating the series' 20th anniversary, pre-orders will come with Imperial trains and command ships, as well as a commemorative 1602 statue for your city. It's coming out this April 16th.
RTB, return to base. There she is. Andy's got her big old gun firing at us. Oh, they're opening up. Alright, we're going to have to flee from there. That's a really heavy emplacement. Her pirate navy is quite well equipped. They've got a large gun there shooting at that. Look at how cool that looks. Alright, they got a couple of good shots at us. But, ooh, look at that pirate fortress. Oh, look at how cool that looks. That's awesome. You can see a little shipwreck there. They built this huge fortress in the rocks. Wow, look at that.
Imperator, Rome. From one of the veterans of the Grand Strategy, the creators of Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, and the Hearts of Iron series, Paradox Interactive takes a page from their own playbook as they disturb the Roman peace the second time around. While it seems to be a sequel to the Roman installment of their Europa Universalis series, developers will also be squeezing a bit of their Crusader Kings gameplay. Focused on the SPQ, Imperator seems to be a lot more about diplomacy than brutality. Manage a variety of government types across the ages and take care of the needs and joys of their diverse populations. Sprinkled with some of the character management of Crusader Kings, it's an all-star show for Paradox Interactive and is coming out on April 26. Total War: Three Kingdoms. Koei Tecmo might have explored these oriental territories in their long-running strategy Romance of the Three Kingdoms. This will mark the first time for the Total War series. A longtime favorite for history fans all over the globe, this new title will take on a romanticized perspective on the era. Take control of one of the 11 factions as their respective legendary warlord, and conquer with diplomacy and might with the Guanxi system of interrelationships. Feel the powers trickle through generals and marvel at the smoothness of their dual animations. Originally slated for this March, Creative Assembly has decided to give the game a bit more time in the oven with a new release date of May 23, 2019.
Now is the time to press the attack. Getting the Azure Dragons firing, and now charging forwards with the Yellow Dragons.
Is there a heart beating in that spineless body? Is there a brain inside that cavernous head?
These heavy-hitting axe units are a formidable foe for anyone they go up against. They will make very short work of these spears.
Railroad Corporation. Since we can't all afford fancy railroad sets, Iceberg Interactive is offering up their own alternative for train enthusiasts, young and old. Following in the footsteps of Meyer and Shelley's Railroad Tycoon, Railroad Corporation takes us to the golden age of steam in the 19th century America. Start your empire from scratch and pave your tracks in the business as you connect one city to the next. Other than their historically accurate locomotives, it also boasts about steeping players in the cutthroat industry of politics and stock markets. Not much buzz going around for this one, but it might be a worthy alternative to the classics. It's set to release early this year. Phoenix Point. Looks like XCOM is back on the menu, boys. From the creator of the original XCOM game, return to one of the pinnacles of turn-based strategy games. Fight a mysterious and mutating extraterrestrial threat. In this game, deploy a squad of 4 unique soldiers and take them down in tactical turn-based fashion. With the introduction of the Geoscape system, players can activate it and enter a massive overworld where you plan your operations, construct bases, and research. Aside from exterminating these pesky buggers, players encounter boss battles that prove challenging, similar to XCOM's style. The game is every strategy game combined, including customizable units, procedural environments, and dynamic missions. It's set to release sometime this June 2019.
Now you'll notice that we only fired 3 or 4 shots there with our Overwatch. It is less with Overwatch than a normal shot. So he's actually moved forwards now, that's fine, that makes that a little bit easier for us. We can use tab to select between our soldiers, and we can do the same thing that we did last time. We can move over here, we can see him from the side, and we've now got a relatively decent chance to do some damage, and we actually got a kill. Fantastic. So that...
Age of Wonders: Planetfall. Paradox Interactive's very own take on the turn-based simulation genre. Blended with godly sci-fi elements, this new space strategy game takes you to a literal age of wonders. This Star Wars-like story tasks you to rebuild a galactic empire after a futuristic dark age. With 6 unique factions, create your own empire. Whether you want to control the race of a technologically advanced faction or a dinosaur-centric Amazon, the choice is yours. With these large casts of factions, engage in colorful and tactical turn-based battles with customizable units and destructible environments. But it doesn't just stop after every battle. Expand your newfound galactic empire across all planets in the galaxy. It's coming out this August 6, 2019.
A devastating volley of rockets in a large area of effect. Several heavily armored vehicles that will plow right into enemy units in order to damage them. The Sapper, which can tunnel towards an enemy and trigger a seismic charge which staggers nearby units, while at the same time destroying any obstacles they were using as cover. The Trencher, a unit that can build its own cover on the battlefield.
Conan Unconquered. Petroglyph's own version of the Conan legend is a strategy game set in the barbaric times of Conan the Barbarian. As a survivor, build your own stronghold and assemble your unconquerable army. The hordes of Hyboria aren't friendly, and they get increasingly difficult. As the alpha of the species, manage resources and research new technologies to gain the upper hand. Construct a variety of different buildings as you stand against this destructive horde of men and monsters. Build and build for that impenetrable base for you and your army. In addition, the game has a pretty huge amount of content, including co-op, multiplayer, and unlocking legendary heroes. It's coming out sometime the second quarter of 2019. Desperados III. THQ Nordic yeehaws its way in this ruthless Western strategy game. Featuring a modern real-time tactical gameplay, control a ragtag band of unlikely heroes and heroines as they join forces to challenge a superior foe. Desperados III takes the epic Wild West journey through 1870 USA and Mexico. Outsmart your enemies and use a wide array of abilities such as infiltration, spying, sabotage, stealing, abduction, and more. When all hope is lost, blow stuff up the cowboy way. With 5 unique Desperados, use their deadly skills to thin out the enemies. Just like any strategy game out there, remain vigilant to any attacks and always be one step ahead of your foes. It's coming out this summer of 2019.
Eyes on the let's make it quick.
You see that?
2's better.
What are you?
Shit, could have gone worse.
This.
It's now or never. Here goes. I'll get closer.
You got him. Don't let them get away. Everywhere.
Showing off.
Someone needs to get things done.
All right.
Back in business. Let's get going. Yeah. Just a scratch.
Hey.
Othercide. Lightbulb Crew's monochromatic strategy game is rife with potential. This horror-themed tactical turn-based indie RPG is ethereal as it is stylish. The entire game is engulfed with black and red. Enter a twisted, dark, and challenging experience where you survive massive assaults from terrifying otherworldly creatures. Its gameplay is akin to Supergiant's Transistor, but its brutality comes from punishing action RPGs like Dark Souls. Be the last line of defense against this endless horde of monsters. This game, packed with so much tension, also contains elements like permadeath, roguelite features, and blends them with a beautiful art style. It's coming out sometime this 3rd or 4th quarter of 2019. Godhood. Playing God is something a lot of games let us do, but this game from Abbey Games has a more literal take on that popular premise. With Godhood, you get to become the star of your very own religion. Far from the new gods and distractions of the modern age, Godhood lets you start from the very beginning. Release yourself into the ancient world and guide your tribes into purposeful domination in your name. Born out of Kickstarter is a pretty clean, simple, and straightforward game, providing fun through diplomacy, exploration, customization, and turn-based battles. It looks like there's a lot of content to get around. Aiming for Steam Early Access in May, it's set for a full release later this year. Field of Glory Empires. Just like Sid Meier's Civilization series, this is another example of a grand strategy game that borrows multiple elements and mechanics from the ultimate simulation experience. Empires lets you rebuild your own powerful civilization from start to finish, overcome their need for survival, and introduce numerous cultural and tribal elements to your newfound creation. Set in Europe during the Classical Age, construct your growing empire as you see fit. Understand your enemy's weaknesses in terms of war, and lead a battalion of trained warriors to fight for you. The game's simultaneous turn resolution means thinking ahead to intercept or to escape. It comes out sometime this 2019. Final Assault. While we're used to the flat worlds of strategy, Phaselock Interactive forges their own path in an immersive new platform. Making use of the new VR technology, Final Assault brings you in the middle of the action. Playing Omniscient Commander to your troops in land, sea, and air, with its round and attractive visuals, it feels a lot like watching our childhood toy sets coming alive, boasting an impressive variety in its units. Played on the Oculus Rift, the World War II RTS battles are immersive and liberating. Although it has 3 tiers of difficulty in single player, you can also try out the unpredictable fields of their online multiplayer. A VR strategy teeming with nostalgia, it's coming to Steam Early Access soon with a full release sometime in April. Overland. This one's actually already available on the PC. Feeling at home in the indie-friendly reaches of itch.io, this stunning survival strategy from Finji is making its way to the more mainstream Steam services sometime this year. Described by Polygon as faster than light meets the post-apocalypse, Overland's got strategy and procedurally generated elements down to a T. With an interface that's sleek and intuitive, Overland lets you get down to business, allowing you to dive right into the hard decisions of each level. Manage fuel, collect supplies, and make the right choices once it releases sometime this year. Starborne. This free-to-play MMORTS opens new doors to the classic genre. Build a new empire and play thousands of friends as you conquer the galaxies. Starborne is a love letter to the RTS fans and taking inspiration from the legendary StarCraft and Warhammer franchises. Much like all RTS games, command your troops on the front lines and strategize your next moves. Whether you want to sabotage the enemy's defenses or go full-on Zerg rush on their vulnerable posts. Choose from its 6 unique specializations with varied abilities and gameplay benefits. It's not just a game where you stay idle, plan your next move, and read carefully, because the game requires a lot of time. It's coming sometime this 2019. Iron Harvest 1920+. We've been talking about this game since 2017, but it looks like it might finally come out from development hell. Inspired by the paintings of Polish artist Rosalski, Iron Harvest paints a bleak picture of its own of robotics intertwining with a rural life in an alternate 1920s. Jumping off from their $1.5 million Kickstarter, King Art Games has been hard at work to bring us this beautiful RTS steeped in diesel punk. After a few quiet months, they've shown significant progress in their alpha demos, adding 5 new mechs, a second weapon system, and a few more build options, and even a multiplayer. There is so much in store for this coming title, and it's targeted for PC as well as the PS4 and Xbox One, and is projected to release sometime this year. And those were the upcoming PC strategy games for the year 2019. And if you love this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to become a certified whatoplayer. That's about it, see you next time.